Good morning, kids. Welcome. I'm Mr. Matt, and I'm so glad you're joining me online. Today is a special lesson. We're going to be talking about how God is the creator. God is the creator. So we're going to look at some beautiful pictures of God's creation and how wonderful and marvelous it truly is. I love looking at God's beautiful creation. I love the mountains and the trees. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Gatlinburg or the Smoky Mountains, but it's beautiful. Some of the views are beautiful. Well, I actually don't love all the hikes, but God has some beautiful views in store for us. So we're going to be looking at some of that beauty in nature as we read through Genesis 1 together. So if you want to flip your Bibles there, do so now. So, what is your favorite memory in nature? Maybe it's going on a hike with your family. Maybe it's going camping outdoors and cooking out around the fire like we talked about last week. Or maybe it's something else. Talk about that now with your family. So my favorite memory is actually with my now wife. We went hiking in the mountains and we went to this place called Chimney Tops. And it was beautiful and the view was great and we hiked all the way to the top, but at the end we had to climb this rock wall and it was really cool because we were climbing together and it was just an awesome experience to do with her. Alright, so now to our passage today, or our story. Genesis 1:1 says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters." So in the beginning, kids, God was there. And He is a creator. Remember, that's our main point today. God is the creator. And so we see that there's nothing. There's literally nothing but darkness and emptiness. And what we're going to see is that God creates everything. He speaks it all into existence. So first, God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light was good, and He separated light from darkness, and called the light day, and He called the darkness night. So the next day, God said, "Let there be a vault between the waters to separate the waters from water." So God made the vault and separated the water under the vault from the water above it. And it was so. And He called that vault, so sky, and there was evening and there was morning. So there was sky now. There was light and dark and sky. And God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear." And it was so. And God called the dry ground land, and the gathered waters He called seas. And now we're on to the next day. God said, "Let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants, and trees on the land that bear fruit with the seed in it." Next day, "Let there be lights in the sky to separate the day from night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times and days and years. And let them be lights in the vault of the sky to give light on earth." And God made two great lights, the greater light to govern the day, and the lesser light to govern the night. And He made the stars. Next day, "And God said, Let the waters swarm with living creatures, and let the birds fly above the earth across the vault of the sky." So God created the great creatures of the sea, and every living thing with which the water swarms and that moves about in it, and according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw it was good. God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and increase in number, and fill the water in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth. So our next day. God said, "Let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, the livestock, the creatures that move along the ground, and wild animals, each according to its kind." So we see God create all those beautiful things. I hope you enjoyed those pictures of God's marvelous creation. But that's not it, right? There's still one more thing that God creates, and it's so special. Then God said, "Let us make mankind in our own image, in our own likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea, and the birds in the sky, and over the livestock and all the animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." So God made everything, and He called everything good: the sky, the sun, the stars, the mountains, the animals, the fish, the birds. He said all of this was good. But then He says here, let's make mankind in our own image. Then, at the end of Genesis 1, God says this: "Then God saw all that He had made, and it was very good." So now that God had created mankind in His own image, He said it was very good, kids, because He loves mankind. He loves humans and wants to be with them, and He wants to be with you and loves you. So God is the creator of all this beauty, all this majesty. And I hope when you go outside this week, or when you go on a walk, or when you're in nature, you remember that God is creator. And I hope you get to see some of the beautiful pictures in person that we saw this morning. All right, kids, remember that God is creator. Have a great week.